So in addition to adding objects here by hitting append and adding objects, we do have some brushes that will enable us to do that as well. So if I go to the brush palette and press I, we have all the InsertMesh brushes. So ZBrush does come with some of these pre-installed meshes. Let's just see here. So machine parts, for instance, maybe that's a relevant one. And for these brushes, when you're in the brush, you can press M to get this menu up with all the different meshes that are in here. And so you see we have some different bolts. Just yeah, let's try one of these. And if I try to draw this out here, I will get this error saying that the mesh is composed of multiple subdivision levels. And so we need to delete or freeze subdivision levels. Now I don't want to just immediately delete the subdivision levels, and yeah, we could go and freeze them and so forth, but what I think is easier just to make a quick duplicate of this mesh. Oop, we just need one. A quick duplicate, and just hide the original for now. And on the duplicate, I can go down to the geometry and just click delete lower subdivision levels. Of course, really make sure that you make a copy. So here we have the copy. And now we should be able to just draw this mesh out onto the surface and let go of the brush. And there you see, I can just, wherever I click, it automatically kind of sticks to the surface in a very, very quick and easy way to add various objects to the surface. So let me undo that. So the height of the object depends on the C intensity. So if it's lower the C intensity, also the object will be smaller like that. And of course the draw size will determine, well, initially you can just draw it however big you want, but if you wanted it to snap to the draw size, you can start drawing it out and press Control, and it will actually snap to the draw size. So here I can make very accurate copies throughout the mesh. Just to mention it, we can also enable in the stroke menu something called a curve mode. With the curve mode enabled, I can draw out a curve. Let's make a slightly smaller draw size. So this again will depend on the draw size, how big you want those objects. But I can start drawing out the curve, and it will place all those instances along that curve. And if we go to the stroke menu, this will depend on the curve step, like how far apart you want these to be placed. So just want to mention that if you want to play around with that. And you also have some brushes here, the curve brushes, which I'm not going to go into too much of these, how they really function, but you can just kind of try it out. Lower the C intensity, snap to the surface, and as long as the snap here is enabled and it will bend, just try it out. You can see that the cursor kind of changes a bit here, which means I can drag that along the surface even after I made that stroke. It's almost as if, yeah, so the surface is still kind of live and affecting that curve. Very interesting feature there inside of ZBrush. You can see it makes some very interesting shapes. Yeah, maybe we'll keep that. It's kind of cool. All right, so we'll keep that. Just go back BI Insert Mesh, and I wanted to find, so in these, yeah, you press M and we have a lot of different parts. So I wanted to have some sort of air ventilation, like an air exhaust vent or something like that, like here. So we can draw that out. And again, I'm going to hold Control, so it's going to snap to the draw size. I'm going to have a smaller one. And a little larger, whatever, something like that. Okay, let me add, yeah, maybe one more. So anyways, just kind of quickly moving along here. So, but how can we now separate these? You see, we're sort of, they're just kind of attached to this copy of the mesh that we made. Well, remember, we can always go down and split these to parts. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Split to parts. Okay. And see, we're just going to go ahead and just split those meshes all along here in the subtool palette. And if I'm done kind of laying out these additional subtools or these additional details, I can just delete altogether that copy that I made of the head. And we have a lot of the, oh, okay, so it separated all of them into, I'm going to go back and merge them together, but let's see, it's a fairly quick process. Just merge and merge down, and here I'm going to go always OK. So I don't have to go and click OK each time I want to merge. And now we just merge, 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 just to get all of those into one a little bit more manageable subtool again. There we go. So now we have all of those again on that one subtool. And these air vents. Okay, so let me go back now to this mesh. And here, maybe I could try to, well, first of all, yeah, let me try to group these on each side. So I'm going to merge that one down. So hopefully that was the correct one. Let's see. No, it was not. Okay. Split to parts. Split to parts. Okay. Let me hide the head here so I can see what I'm doing. So I want this one to merge with that one. Okay, so a little bit confusing here, but we're going to get this. We can also arrange the order here. So here we can see we can move up. So I'm going to move that subtool up. This is just the layer order. It doesn't really matter as far as anything. I mean, this hierarchy is really just for you to be able to just select the subtools. But now I believe I have them placed so that these two, yeah, so now these two on the top are on that side, which means I can now go merge down, and that should be that side, and then I'm going to merge this one down. Now at least I have both of these on each side as their own subtools. And then let's see. Yeah, so for instance, if I wanted to kind of move, if I'm not happy with the placement, of course I can move them. Actually, there's a mask. I could just control click to the side. This little feature here on the move tool will just center the pivot according to that selection. And then I can freely use these to move as well. So anyways, if I'm not happy with the placement, obviously I can tweak that. But yeah, so I don't want to spend any more time on this. So just quickly though, back to the head mesh, just to sort of make these feel like they kind of belong to the surface here. I'm gonna, let's store a morph target again, and then maybe do a little, yeah, maybe it's just a standard brush actually. I could just do, let's see. Maybe yeah, just so that it feels like there's some more contact there. Kind of a build-up of this fabric or leather or skin or whatever it is. You get the idea. So just kind of make this feel like it sort of belongs to this surface. And now this starts becoming a bit fun, right? We can sort of work with this and make it feel as a whole, as opposed to just kind of separate CG objects, kind of get into this sculpting. So I'm not going to spend time on that, but I just wanted to show that and highlight that you can really have fun with this. And then holding Alt, just pushing the mesh underneath there. And I am sculpting symmetrically, so it should kind of affect both sides. And there we have, see, it feels sort of like they're more integrated, right, into okay. So that's, I think that's going to do it for just quickly having access to these InsertMesh brushes, just for you to quickly experiment with. And these, you know, for now we can just keep them as separate objects. You can sort of tidy up a little bit, merge these together. Eventually, when it comes to making a final production mesh, that is to say when we're going to start baking a normal map, you can make the decision as to how many of these would be beneficial to have as separate objects. So for something like an efficient in-game character, you know, you would not want all of these as separate objects. It would just, you know, really lead to an unnecessary high poly count. So this is something that could be baked down into the normal map, and probably also these vents. Or you can choose to have the vents separate, and that would also work. In any case, those are decisions that would depend on the final specifications. So if it's in-game character, if it's a movie, or, you know, whatever it is, or if you want to print it. And that's, again, like I said initially, sort of the beauty of working this way with having everything here as actual geometry is that you're very free to do whatever you please with this model now. Because, of course, everything here is geometry. You know, it's no longer just a trick. What you're seeing is actual geometry. So I think that does it. I'm just going to kind of tidy things up a little bit here. One thing I like doing is going over with the pinch brush. You can see whenever, oh, I need to make sure I'm on the right mesh. So Alt-click that. So let's say if I wanted to tighten up some of these. See, with the pinch brush, kind of nice for that. Make some of these panels a little more defined, like that. All right, I think that's going to do it.